Let's get the live stream going. All right, good to go. Welcome to the Weekly Business Doctor Show. John Pyron here, the business doctor, in the house. We let a couple more people here. I got to run around. Got my co-host Choya in the car on his way over here. We're in the Knoxville region. There's a really cool mixer tonight. Big networking mixer down in Chattanooga. Are you going there, Wilson?
Yep, I'm going.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Troy's like, you gotta go, man. Like this is it. Like this is the one. I'm like, really? Oh, okay. Glad you're going. I don't have to go. I'll say, hey, you know what, Rita, who'd you since we're partners, you know, I don't have to go if another power partner is going because prospect for you is prospect for me, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there you go. All right. Well, this week, normally in the past, we decided last week that going forward, we were just going to do some live Q&A. Now, if nobody has questions, nobody wants coaching, consulting, I always got stuff to talk about. So I want to be respectful, and then I'm going to remember off the top of my head who joined first. Marcella was here first. So, Marcella, if you would like to, you have a question. Do you have Marcella's like I'm going off a video.
I'm sorry, I meant to do the mute thing. I'm sorry. No, I'm a guest, so I have no questions.
It's okay. Okay, so tell us about your business. What is it that you do?
I'm into health and wellness. I market for Melaleuca, the wellness company.
Nice. Feel free to jump in anytime and ask whatever questions you want. I got 3 people right now across the country that I consult. So, whatever you question. So, with that, let's see who else. Yeah, thing. So, what questions do you have? Speaking of Melaleuca, ladies and gentlemen, Jane Knight. You gotta go ahead and hit the unmute button. Here, let me I'll hit the ask to unmute and then you can click the button as it comes up.
Well, this past week I went ahead and chose a mentor and accountability partner and got them set up. I also chose my path, answered all 6 of those questions, and chose 10 folks I want to work with. So now what do I do?
So, so you chose the path that you're going to take. Which path are you going to take?
I'm taking the structured growth path.
Okay. And refresh my memory because I don't have your business plan in front of me. Okay. Structured growth path.
It's like in the middle. It's not the fastest way, but it's working with my customers. And let me see here. Let me get my notes. It's where you add 12 to 15 new customers per year. And you work with a clear scripted program to do that.
All right. So what Jane is referring to is she ended up paying for a one-on-one strategy session for her business. So we had I gotta let people into the waiting. I gotta remember my co-host is not here, and I gotta let people into the waiting room. They got people waiting out in the waiting room.
And by the way, John, that's a $1,000 to $2,000 monthly salary.
There you go. Okay. So let me do this. So Alicia's in the house. I'm gonna make you the co-host if you don't mind, because I totally forgot I gotta watch the waiting room. You guys were in the waiting room. I'm like, oh wait, I gotta watch the waiting room. So okay, so the structured growth path. So really 10 to 15 new customers, so 1 to 2 new customers per month, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so the benefit of doing it that way is, see, the thing I like about Melaleuca, and this is something for everybody because we're streaming this. This is going to be recorded. The thing I like about Melaleuca, it's been around for a long time. Okay, it's a legitimate business, even though it's marketing business at the core of its foundation. It is a real business, and one of the things that we talked about during strategy sessions is we got to treat this business like we invested $50,000 to $100,000 into this business. And at the foundation, every business, doesn't matter whether it's Melaleuca, doesn't matter whether it's Sunrise Plumbing, doesn't matter if it's MD Creations, Turner Recruiting and Consulting, CS United and Associates, Rita the Funnel Godmother, John Pylan the Business Doctor. Every single business has this in common. You have to have a customer. Okay. It's like Vince Lombardi back when he took over the Green Bay Packers. And the previous 2 seasons, they literally were the lowest on the lowest. Okay, they were the lowest on the totem pole, the last team. I mean, they stunk. And Lombardi comes in, he takes over as coach, he brings him into the locker room, and he has in his hand a football. And he says, "Gentlemen, this, in case you forgot, this is a football. These are professional athletes." Okay, these guys trained all their lives. They went to college. Some of them Heisman Trophy. They moved it to the NFL. But at some point, you got to bring them back to, hey, this is the foundation and this is the basics. So this is a message. It benefits everybody. Okay, and that is with Melaleuca, right? So Melaleuca has an entire slew of products and services. It used to be, when it first started out, it was just vitamins. Remember, I was in the Amway business when Melaleuca came on the scene, lost a lot of people from my own business to Melaleuca because it was the new up and thing. And but I love the comp plan. I love their products. The benefit of the Knoxville region is you guys actually have a distribution center with the warehouse, with the store, with the conference room, with all that stuff. So instead of having to have somebody come and meet you at their house or your house or a coffee shop or wherever, I would 100% of the time, in your case, Jane, is meet them at the distribution center. Okay. My eyes were blown wide open when Carol Pierce insisted that we meet at that facility. Prior to meeting there, I had this different view of Melaleuca. Okay, till I showed up, and the thing that got me is they had barbecue rub on the shelf. I was like, "What the heck got barbecue rub?" A lot of competitions and so forth. So they already had me. I'm like, "Where do I sign?" I didn't need to know nothing about nothing. Okay, and one of the things that we talked about is having the conversation with somebody and saying, "Hey, listen, let me show you how to take the existing money that you're using, okay, and redirect it elsewhere. How would you like to not spend any more money and actually save money and have the products delivered to you?" And they're gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" Okay, well, a lot of the stuff you buy at Ingles, Food City, Kroger, wherever it is that you shop, you can buy directly from Melaleuca and have it shipped directly to your door. As long as you're on a subscription base, which usually is around anywhere from $75 to $100 a month, and just products and services that you're going to use anyways, have it shipped to your door. Now, that's one way. So you get them on there as a customer first. So the easiest and fastest path to cash, Jane, and getting 1 to 2 new customers every single month. And this applies to every single person on this call, including my business. And that is, go back to your existing customers, the ones that you actually like the most. Now, there's a key word there. You got to like them. Okay. If you do not like them, do not do this exercise. Because if you do this exercise and you don't like them, you're going to end up with more people you don't like. Okay. If you do this exercise with the people that you like, guess what? The flip side is going to be you're going to end up with more people that you actually like. Okay. And that is, you call them up and you go, listen. Now, here's the thing I want you to remember, Gene, for the rest of your life until you switch this plan. You always, I'm going to say it again, always. I mean, I'm looking for 1 more customer this month, man. I'm looking for 2 more customers this month. Pick your number. Somebody asks how you're doing. Somebody asks how's business going. You know, I'm glad you asked. I'm just looking for 1 more customer right now that I can serve. Every month. 1 more customer, 2 more customers. Okay. And so you go back to your existing clients. You run that power-based strategy that I gave you. And you say, hey, if you were in a position to refer me to a friend or colleague, would you refer me? Okay, now, if you do this call at any length of time, you can go back to the archives and you can find this system. I'm not going to spend all this time explaining what that system is. If you don't have that system, simply put in the chat window system, and Alicia will make sure that you get the recording, okay, of that system. It's called a power-based system. And so you go and you ask them the questions, you get the feedback from them, and then you just ask them, hey, what is your favorite product? What is your favorite product? Everybody's got a favorite product. Okay. What's your favorite product? Why do you like it? Okay. Do you know anybody in your family, friends, circle, relatives, neighbors, next door neighbors, across the street that would actually like the same product? If I send you a text message script and an email script, would you do me a favor and share it with your family member or friend? They will say yes. Okay. Now, I happen to know your business and I happen to know you got a lot of customers. Okay. So I don't need to even go through how do you sign up a customer. Okay. All you got to do is get audience with them, and you already proven that you know how to get a customer. It's just that you gotta commit to do it every single day. Now, how do you commit to doing it every single day? I'm glad you asked. Here's how you do it. You gotta focus on what you want. Okay, and if you need help with this, go and whip out a blank sheet of paper every single morning. And I want you to, when you wake up in the morning, open up that blank sheet of paper, write today's date, and ask yourself, okay, obviously I'm alive, you know, there's obviously more for me to do here. What do I want? And the first thing that comes to your mind, I want you to write it down as if it's already happened. And so you get about 5 things written down. Sometimes it might take a minute. Sometimes it might take 5 minutes. But you're not done with that exercise until you pulled out of your brain the Holy Spirit, the universe, God, whatever it is your belief system is. Your brain is wired to answer whatever question you ask. And if you ask, what do I want? First thing that comes to mind, write it down as if it's already happened. Don't prejudge. Don't try to figure out if I wanted that or not. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's like, I want to go to Mars. Write it down. I have gone to Mars. Okay, don't worry about how to get there. Now, here's the reason being. And I was reminded last week when I had my mentor, Dave Vanny, on a live call with me and a prospect, because I'm applying him to my system because he's moving out here from California. He really wants to do this. This is the guy that I started working with in February of '96 when I was, 26 years old. Now I'm 56. That's 30 years ago. And he taught me how to sell. And he goes, yeah, we get done with the call, get done with a couple of minute call, and he goes, well, so let me make sure I'm clear, John, on and on. here's what I do. I'm like, no, it's very simple. Business owners like myself, business owners like Jane, like Michael, like Sunrise Plumbing, like Marcella, like Rita, like Nancy, like Alicia, like Tommy. Here's what we need more than anything. We need somebody to just hold us accountable and help us understand what the next step is. There's nobody else on our team to hold us accountable in most cases. I said, so what you did with me, Dave, all those years ago, even the days I absolutely hate your guts, okay, you held me accountable. Because there was a lot of days I hung up on the dude, man. I'm like, you don't understand, dude. He goes, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go take a look at yourself, take a look at yourself in the mirror and understand that you got to commit to you and you got to commit to your dream. And you can make whatever excuses you want. We all have 168 hours in a week. And at the end of the day, we have to do it. Now, in this case, this is cool because you're going after 1 to 2 new customers a month. I wouldn't just take on anybody. I'd go out and talk to everybody. Almost like you're having people earn the right to become your customer. And have a conversation with them about the products, the services, what kind of products they buy at Ingles, what kind of products they buy, etc. Sign them up as a customer, service them. After 30 days, check in with them. After 60 days, check in with them. After 90 days, check in with them and get referrals. And then you get 2 or 3 people that want to, the referrals that they give you, their referrals want to sign up. You just simply go back to them and politely say, hey, would you like to get your own affiliate link like I have? Your own member link like I have? And I could put these customers in your business, and you actually start getting paid after a certain amount of time from these people. That's how you recruit team members. Keep it low key. Okay. Once they have 2 or 3 customers, just say, hey, you know what? Why don't I hook you up with this guy named Michael Colello? Because he would be the guy that I would recommend every single person here. If you haven't had a second opinion about your taxes, get with this dude. I've worked with him for 3 years, helped him design the second 3-year look back program that's just stellar. But once you get a team member that they have 3 or 4 customers, because in the world of taxes and network marketing specifically, you have to have 10 active customers in order to be considered a home-based business. Okay, that is the law. Okay, once you have 10 active customers, then you can go to Michael and go, how do I set myself up as a home-based business? You do not need an entity. Okay, you're a sole proprietor. Get a separate checking account, separate personal checking account. So you make enough money to form an entity. But for now, you get to take advantage of home-based business expenses, mileage. There's a bunch of stuff you can take advantage of as a home-based business. Okay, so that would be your next step in your plan. Okay, is to simply go out and have a conversation with existing customers, ask them for referrals, tell them about the new products that just came out. Nice thing about having reoccurring customers in Melaleuca is every time Melaleuca releases a product, your income goes up. Okay, so service those customers. Any questions about what to do next?
Don't think so.
Okay, cool deal. Popping on here, who's next? Raise your hand. You got to have your camera turned on. Okay, and you can ask whatever question you want about business, and you're going to get some coaching and consulting right here, right now. Who's next? Okay.
Excuse me, John, I do have a question. In the beginning, you and I talked about me just working with my customers. So are these new people referrals from my customers?
The referrals from your customers are now potential new customers for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's up to you whether you want to go back to your existing customer and say, hey, would you like me to sign them up under you or under me? That is entirely up to you.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
If you have a desire to build out a team, that's the route to go. If you have no desire to build a team, just sign them up as a customer. There's nothing wrong with having 300 or 400 customers. Okay. I know this person in Melaleuca right now has almost 400 customers. Now, the cool thing about a Melaleuca customer is there is a minimum they have to purchase to remain as a customer. So imagine having 400 at that point level and how much reoccurring revenue that is. Nothing wrong with having a couple thousand customers. Just saying.
Yeah.
Some people want to build a massive business and be able to buy a 6,000 square foot home. Some people want to build a business and afford a 600 square foot apartment. Okay. There is no judgment there. It is what is your goals? Because you work your butt off for your goals. Okay. I have yet to find a moment in time where I would work my butt off, with the exception of my wife, for somebody else's goals.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, there's just certain things that happen in business psychologically, especially in sales, where I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. But if I'm after a goal, it's a whole different attitude. So having your goals really nailed down, your purpose and your why is so important, because I promise you this. Every single one of you on this live call and every single one of you listening to my voice on the podcast or watching the YouTube, year from now, 5 years from now, this is a principle that will not change as long as human beings are alive. Nobody will work for your dream more than you will. Okay? And your dream is not important to somebody else more than it is to you. And you have the ability to get your dream and goal. And if you get stuck, find somebody that can help you to get to your dream and goal, and only take advice from somebody who's actually done something, not theory. Okay. So, all right, I'm gonna open it up one more time, and then I'm just gonna start talking. We raised our hand. Look at that. We're using the technology and everything. Okay.
Okay. So I've got my Thursdays at noon Eastern time free, just like this. So I'm modeling after my mentor, and I'm going to answer questions about CRMs and databases and systems in general. Now, I wanted to run this by you. This is my funnel. So people who come to that, who need more help than just a couple minutes, then we can do a strategy call, and then that'll have a little form on the front of it. So I get more information about them before the call, 15-minute strategy call. That'll almost always lead to me recommending the Automation Nation membership, monthly membership, where they can get more attention. And if they really need a lot of help, or they don't want to do it at all themselves, then I offer my private sessions where I just do the work for you. Does that sound right? Good? Good plan?
So let me make sure I'm clear, and correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. So we got the show that you're going to do on Thursday, 12 p.m.
Yeah.
People are going to show up there. You're going to teach some great content. Then you're going to offer them a 15-minute Zoom.
Well, I'm going to teach for 20 minutes and answer questions for 40 minutes.
Okay. So you're going to teach, and then you're going to answer questions. And what's the next step after that?
Yeah. So if someone either didn't get their question answered or they have a deeper need, and I might just need to tell people, okay, we're not going to be able to answer that whole thing on this call, on this broadcast today. So I recommend that you get into the Automation Nation, where you can get more personalized attention, and just put up the link for that.
Okay.
And then when they're, yeah.
Automation Nation is a paid for program, right?
Yes.
Okay. And in your funnel, do you have information about that program? Do you have Q&A about that program? Do you have samples, etc.?
Yes. So as soon as someone signs up through the QR code or signs up for the Thursday, then they start getting nurtured, and I start telling them about Automation Nation as well as the Thursdays.
Okay. And so fast forward, here we are. We're on a live show with you. You're teaching for 15 minutes or so.
Mhm.
You now open it up for Q&A, and I just say, I come to the show and I say, hey, you know what? I mean, I've got all this stuff, Rita. I've got, social media. I've got an email list. I've got a newsletter list. I'm like, I just don't want to manage it no more, because this is where most founders find themselves,
Yes.
is all the work is done in the beginning by them. And then now it actually gets in the way of expansion, right?
Correct.
So, you know, I wish I knew how you can best help me. And then, what is going to be your response to that?
Well, actually, I have packages where I just do all of that for you. We have meetings and you tell me exactly what you want and I make it happen. And it's just a monthly reoccurring, I'm getting nervous now. It's just a monthly recurring service that I offer. I have customers that they never touch their database at all. They just tell me what they want. I make it happen. And that sounds like the perfect thing for you. So let's schedule a strategy call and we'll figure that out for sure at what level you want to be.
Right. So that sure I'm clear is like you got different packages where you can actually take on all of this for me.
Yep.
Okay. And and then handle it. It's just depends on what I need will determine what package I choose, right? But
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
how many packages do you have?
I have 2 full service packages and they're based on if the client really
If you
does
might have
want
a
to.
prospect, I'm talking to you here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Go ahead.
depends on if you really want to know like how the sausage is made. I have one for that where you are with me doing everything. So you know the inner workings. And the other one
Okay.
is I just do it all. You don't even have to look at your database. You just let me do it.
Okay. Well, I that sounds really good. Can you send me some information
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
so I can look at the different packages and choose which one I want?
Perfect. That's perfect.
Would
I'll
that
send that to you
can
today.
do that? Okay. All right. So I'm going to improve it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you open to some coaching?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, and I want everybody to pay attention here. Okay. Never send a package. Okay? Never send an email.
Okay.
Okay. Just don't do it. Okay. And the reason is we live in an AI world. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take your package, I'm going to drop it into ChatGPT. I'm going to say, here's exactly what I need. Here's read this package. Find me 3 or 4 other people to compare it to and get me their information.
Okay.
Okay. So that's just the world we live in now.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to have to go back to value-based selling.
Okay.
Okay. So value-based selling, and if you go back to any of the recordings, get question-based selling by Thomas Friess. Okay. Memorize it, but we have to. So let's flip the script. I'm not going to put on a crown. Okay. I'm not going to change my voice, but you be the prospect. And I mean, I could, I mean, if you saw the Facebook post last week, the girls had a mask on me. They were doing something to my hair or my face. I had a peel apparently. I had cucumbers in my eyes and everything. It was cool. Oh, at the end of the day, yeah, okay. So anyways, so if I'm talking to the person and say, okay, so let me ask you a question. So you're busy, right?
Yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead and role
really
play this with me.
busy.
Yeah. And how long you been in business?
8 years.
8 years. Okay. And so up to this point of 8 years, you've gotten to where you are. And now, obviously the marketing that you've done up to this point, the funnels you had at this point have worked because you've gotten to where you are. Would
Well,
you
I'm
agree?
doing
Yes or
it
yes?
all. and I have an assistant, and we are just covered up, and I want to grow and
Yeah.
take on more customers, but we can't do that. We're working every minute of every day just to serve the customers that we already have.
All right, so I'm going to teach and do this at the same time so everybody can benefit here. Okay. So now she has just exposed to me a pain. Okay. Now, how many of you have heard the term, man, stop pouring salt on the wound? Okay. Anybody else heard that saying? Okay. In this case, we're going to grab a whole container of salt and we're going to start pouring it on this wound.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's how you do that. So you have an assistant and you, okay, and you're servicing customers and you're trying to grow.
Yeah, right. I mean, I've
Okay,
been in
now-
business 8 years. I should be able to grow this thing.
Now, give me some insight on there. Why do you think that?
Well, people love my product. They want to buy. In fact, I get more leads than I even know what to do with. I can't keep track of all the leads. They love my product. They want to work with me. We're just tearing our hair out, just trying to keep the machine running every day.
Okay. So you're tearing your hair out, trying to run the machine, keeping everything running, right? Is that right?
Yeah, and I feel like I should be just leading the charge, meeting people, making deals, bringing in new customers. But I'm afraid to bring in new customers because I don't know what's going to happen when I get them.
So what would happen if you brought in, let's just say you brought in 40% more customers right now, what would it actually do?
Well, I'd have to hire new people and train them, and there's a learning curve on that. So some things are going to fall through the cracks, I'm afraid. And then that's
Yeah.
going to ruin my reputation.
Wow.
And then I'm going to
How
lose
many
sleep
hours a
at
week are
night.
you working right now? How many
Sorry
hours a week are you actually working right now?
Oh my gosh. I'm working like my assistant only works 40, but I'm working like 80 or 100 hours a week. And
Wow.
I feel like, again, I just feel like I'm a smart person and I know how business works, and my product is really great. Why am I stuck on this hamster wheel like this?
Yeah. Well, now let me pause and give everybody some psychology and some strategy on what I'm doing here. Okay. She is talking. She is giving me all the information about what's going on in her world. Okay. I am not going to try to solve her problem yet. Okay. I'm going to continue to ask more and I'm going to dig more and I'm going to open up that wound a little bit more, because the more pain she experiences right now, the more she's going to be open to me giving her a solution. But if I just start going for the solution right now, the amount of money I will leave on the table by doing that move will come back to bite you in the butt. Okay, you just have to learn from experience. But I'm gonna tell you right now, she's like, all right, so let's get back into it. All right, so you're working about are you really working about 80 hours a week?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. And your assistant's working 40, so you got 120 hours a week going into your business. Okay. And you're stuck. And if I just add more customers to it, all it's going to do is make you work more, it sounds like, right?
Yeah, but that's what I want. I want my business to grow. I want to serve more
Okay.
people.
Sure. Yeah. And so, you know what, in everything I'm hearing right now, if you actually had, now here's the question, right? I'm gonna maybe I'll throw out some nuggets here. I'm gonna start planting seeds, is what it's called. Okay. So before I give you a possible solution, Rita, I'm just curious. Now, pay attention to the words. I'm just curious. How is this affecting you?
Man, I think my wife is going to leave me. Like,
Wow.
all I think about all the time is my business. I love her so much, but I've got to pay all the bills. And I
Yeah.
think I'm like snippy with her. And I know I'm snippy with my assistant, but she can take it. And my life is not what I want it to be. And
Okay.
I just feel like that I'm in like a jail cell of my own making in this business that I created. And even though I really want my business to be successful, I love being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Now, notice what I'm doing. I am zipping my mouth. Okay. I am letting her talk. Okay. Very, very important. I want to point out something very important. The more your prospect talks, the better. Too many of us want to talk too much. Okay. Answer the question, solve the problem. But the more she talks, the more information she's going to give me, the bigger my product and service is going to become. Because all she's doing is telling me how painful it is, and I'm digging into it. So your wife, I don't really, I didn't come here to get involved in that, but let me ask you a question. If you don't change something, how much longer do you think you can go? Now, notice the pause. If you don't change something, how much longer do you think you can go like this?
Not much longer. I'm telling you, my blood pressure's up, and I don't know how to stop it.
Now, notice what happened. More about the problem. I don't know if I can actually, just because I got you on the line, just because, and here's where most people make the mistake, because I mean it with all the genuineness in my heart. If I am able to give you solutions to what you just mentioned, and I am able to get you from an 80-hour work week down to a 50-hour work week in the next 3 months, and make it even more systematized and more productive to where you don't have to hire somebody else, are you ready to actually do something about your problem?
And they're going to say yes because they've just declared how horrible everything is.
Yeah. Now, notice who talked first when I asked the question.
I'm sorry, what?
Did. Notice who talked first after I answered the question. So let me make sure I'm clear on this. If I give you a solution, are you ready to actually do something about it? I zipped it. It's a trial close question. Do not talk. No matter how much it is in your heart going up, make it as uncomfortable as possible. Okay. It used to be the first person that talks loses. I don't subscribe to that. First person that talks opens the door to the next possibility. Because if you're not done with your pain, you can't solve your problem. But now you said, hey, I would be open to it. Now, here's the deal. You're selling a service. Jane's selling a service. Marcella's selling a service. Alicia's selling a service. Nancy's selling a service. Tommy, Andy, Michael, all selling, myself selling a service. I'm dealing with a human being on the other end. Now, some of these things can be customized and they're in my little 1, 2, 3 package. But in this case, I can make 10 times more money doing a custom package than I can a cookie cutter package. Now, if I'm just selling online and I'm doing Google ads, I'm not going to customize it. But in this situation, I could say, hey, you know what, Rita, now that I know that you're serious about solving your problem, I do have a couple of packages, but I think what I need more for you is I need to get kind of a blend of not just those 2 packages, but something else. So why don't we start here? Let's do what I'm going to call a funnel strategy session. Okay. And what that means is we're going to go from the time you meet somebody, okay, the time that somebody is either introduced to you, or a cold lead, or you find a card in a grocery store or whatever, to the time they're a satisfied customer and they're actually giving you a referral because you've done such a great job. We're going to look at the entire funnel from start to finish, and I'm going to see where I can automate, delegate, and outsource some of the components of that funnel to give you your time back. Okay? Because again, in your own words, You get really get, your spouse might be leaving you, you got health problems, you're working 80 hours a week, you can die tomorrow, whatever. Okay, we got a sense of urgency here, from what I understand, and you want to solve this problem right now. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
Right. So why don't we get together for a strategy session on your entire funnel? Okay, and what that looks like is this. Now, I want you to go back and capture the recording here, because this is a killer close. Okay. So one of the biggest benefits of showing up to this thing is I'll give you a script. Okay. So you get them to this point, and you just say, hey, here's what we can do. I'm going to send you a question and answer sheet ahead of time. Okay, I want you to fill that out. Okay, now, because you're a client of mine, you're a part of one of my mastermind groups, I will customize for you a TTI assessment with your logo on it. So it looks, feels, and smells and breathes like it's yours. Okay, so I'll pass along my cost of that to you. It's like $5.50 an assessment. I'll just bill you the $5.50. I don't need to make any money off of it. Okay, because you're a part of it's one of the benefits of being either a one-on-one client of mine or in one of my mastermind groups. Okay. And so this way it works. So you send them that TTI assessment. You say, hey, listen, here's the deal. I'm going to send you this TTI assessment. It's going to tell me what your behavior types are. It's going to tell me how to communicate with you, how not to communicate with you. It's going to give me your driving forces. It's going to tell me what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. It's going to give me all your top 25 skill sets. So I'm going to have about a 93% accuracy of you as an individual before we even meet. Okay. Then I'm going to take that and I'm going to create a customized business questionnaire that's pertinent to your business. So that way the questions are only going to be pertinent to you and your business. The more I can understand your funnel from start to finish and you as a person and your person that's working 40 hours a week, you have my permission to have them take it as well. Then when we get together, I have about a 93% accuracy of what we're going to get done. I'm going to fill in the remaining 7%, and then I'm going to give you a strategy. Then you're going to have a choice. Okay. So we're going to get nailed down on what the funnel currently looks like. I'm going to be able to give you in real world time solutions you can take action on right then and there. So when I'm working on your plan and coming back to you with your plan, you're having some progress. If I feel like I got all the clarity in the world on that first call and I figure I know exactly what package is, then I'll give you choices. Okay. Here's package A, package B, package C. Okay, but I'm going to customize them to you and your business. Okay. If we can't get that done in the first meeting, we'll set a second meeting. Okay. Once we get through that, then you're going to have a choice of those three choices to make. Now, here's the benefit of doing this with me. You and I get a full-blown chance of what it's like to work together, vice versa. And if we still like one another, we can then make a decision. How do you feel about doing a funnel strategy session with me? They're going to say yes about 95% of the time. Okay. Now, depending on the size of their business, if they are under $250,000 a year, you're going to charge a minimum of $500 for that. Okay. If they're between $500 and $1 million, you're going to charge a minimum of $750 for that. If they're between $1 million and $3 million, which is where 98% of the businesses get stuck and fail, is between that $1 and $3 million space. That's not my stat. That is a Small Business Administration stat. That is Brandon Dawson's stat. That is some of the biggest gurus on the planet stat. You will not make it past $3 million a year in revenue if you do not have systems. Okay? You can try it all you want. There's a 98% failure rate there. Okay? But you're going to have systems if you're going to scale beyond that. So those people, you're going to charge $1,500. Okay? Because it's worth it. And they're going to pay it. And you're not locked into a weekly thing or a monthly thing with them. You sell them on the strategy session. Okay? You do the work. They can do the work, or they can join one of your programs. But when you go back and listen to the entire recording, I did this for everybody's benefit. It applies to no matter what business is on here right now or anything. If you are delivering a service, that is how you sell based on value. You don't offer solution until you find out what the problem is. This is where most people make the mistake. They think, I did that when I was trying to build the business doctor thing, the business consulting thing. Okay. Yeah, I sold my IT company, built a sales training company. I thought I had found manna from heaven. Okay. And I went and created a 6-figure income in 3 months. And I'm calling up Mike Sastry, and I'm like, dude, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, man. Blah, blah. He's like, dude, you don't even know your sales cycle. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, you went and closed a bunch of stuff because you know how to do that. But I can see the program because I had this little 90-day skyrocket your business program. Okay. It was called a 90-day business sprint. And it was a package. It was a cookie cutter, one size fits all package for business owners. And he's like, you're dealing with a business owner. Mark my words, they're going to start dropping like flies after 90 days. I'm like, you have no idea what you're talking about, dude. Like you're on drugs, you know? I mean, we got in this big old argument about it. Now I'm sitting here arguing with my own mentor that helped me build, 3 businesses. And I know more than him apparently now. I'm a grown-up teenager is what I am at this point, probably. That young adult that doesn't want to listen, they're smarter than the parent now, right?
Yeah.
And so sure enough, man, January comes around because this is October of 2014. Sure enough, January 2015 comes around, they start dropping like flies. I'm like, hey, can I talk to you? Call up Mike. Can you help me, please? Like, it was so unbelievable. He goes, I already told you, you're doing business owners. You cannot put a cap on it. It's not a cookie cutter one size fits all, dude. Every single business, you can put 10 of the same businesses in the same room, and it's going to be a different strategy for each one of them. So why don't you out leverage your expertise and do 10 different strategies for 10 different businesses and make a lot of money? It was a 20-minute call that changed everything. Same thing here. Your packages are great. You know what you're doing. There's a reason you're earning the title of funnel godmother. Okay. Now go out and be that individual funnel godmother for each individual business and skyrocket their business and do the homework. Without your systems, I want everybody to hear this because I'm going through this right now myself personally. Okay. Every single business I've ever scaled, okay, I always get stuck at this part where I've got to figure out all the systems in the process and get John Pyron out of the way. And it's the hardest thing to do. But your systems are going to fix everything. Okay. And you get to help them. Okay. So enough there. There's enough content on here to make everybody on this call millions of dollars. Okay. If you're not at a 6-figure income in the next 6 months off the principles I just taught here today, then you probably didn't do the work. Okay. So with that said, who's next? Who else has got a problem, challenge, question that you would like some coaching and mentoring on today?
Before we switch, could someone try my QR code again? I made it a lot bigger. Come on. It's still not capturing. Dang it. Don't know what it is. Let me make sure, because Michael's got one up. Let me see if it's just my camera. Wow. I can't even scan Michael's. Michael, he's all freaked out. He's like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, what?
I don't know if it's a security feature in Zoom now. I don't know.
Well, did you pin me? Did you pin my picture first? If you pin me, then I get a lot bigger. Let me try Michael's too.
Let me.
Yeah, I tried my own. I got mine.
Let me see here. Speaker. Okay. And let me put Rita. Rita, go ahead and speak so you go on the big screen.
Yeah, okay. So how about that? Good. Good.
Hold on.
Good. We're
Oh,
testing.
yeah. Yeah, I
Testing.
got it.
It worked?
I got it. Yep.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
Okay.
Whoa. I just go to Bitly though.
What's that?
That's where it took me. Oh, now I clicked. The title says Gamma App, the system rescue with funnel godmother.
Yeah.
I'll screenshot this and text it to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Let's go back to who else has got a business problem challenge question that you can help on today.
This is Tommy. Good morning to you.
What's up, man?
Okay, can you hear me?
I can't.
Okay, good deal. So for me, because we have a caregiver service, our concern is the hiring aspect of caregivers. And
Just a little bit louder.
let me turn it up some, see if that matters better. How's that? That way I'm not screaming.
Okay, I'm good. Go ahead.
Good deal. So, in our business, caregivers is a commodity that's challenging. And the transparency of the caregivers when they come in, we're in an arena here in Huntsville, Alabama, that they are recycled from company to company. And I'm trying to get the partner organizations that I work with to be as transparent as I'm willing to do to commit to something that we can share as a caregiver that floats around. Have you ever thought about how, as long as it's not a HIPAA violation, how could we establish something that we can share about caregivers that are not fit for the industry so that they don't come to us and we don't send them to the next person? Have you ever encountered that before? I don't want to call it a blacklist, but I want to call it a cautions list when it comes to caregivers that aren't suitable for the field. And just so that I don't get them and I can suggest to some of my referral associates to watch out for this caregiver, and likewise, they could do the same for me for transparency purposes. Does that make sense?
Let me make sure I'm clear on the question. There are certain caregivers out there, okay, that once you interact with them and you use them, you realize, oh my gosh, yeah, this is a big mistake. I don't want to ever interact with them, and I don't want anybody in my industry ever interacting with them because they're really, really good up front. And then you let them in your house and they end up, not being good. Right? Is that what you're
Spot on.
saying?
That's spot on. And
Okay.
so
All
that
right.
I don't violate HIPAA, create some type of backlash, from submitting names, and likewise for my referral partners giving me like names as well.
Okay. So I'll tell you, I'm going to do a disclaimer on. Okay, I'm not an attorney. Okay, been in business long enough to know a lot of stuff, but I also know where my limits are and my boundaries are. Okay, so anything that you're thinking about executing on this, I would highly recommend you run it by an actual attorney. If you need one, I have several that are clients of mine, personal friends of mine, and I have their cell numbers. Okay. So, with that said, defamation of character. Okay. So, defamation of character applies when you say something about somebody that is not public knowledge. Okay. That can't be proved. Okay. So, if you say anything about anybody anywhere, okay, that is not public out there publicly somewhere else, okay, and it cannot be substantiated by facts and actual evidence, then you could open yourself up for a defamation of character lawsuit.
Okay.
Okay. Number one. Number two, as far as HIPAA is concerned, HIPAA has to do with the patient. Okay. Typically not the employee. Okay. So if you are there would be no HIPAA. It's my understanding and how HIPAA is structured. Okay. There would be no HIPAA violation if somebody called you up and said, "Hey, what about this person?" And you said, "No, I wouldn't use this person at all." Okay. I used them on a job. Okay. And obviously, where you violate HIPAA is I used them with Murray Smith. Okay. Now that's a HIPAA violation, right? But I used them on a job, and they ended up being a terrorist basically. Okay. And so, but the best thing to do is to stay away, stay as far as away as you can. Okay. From blasting anybody negatively on the internet in anywhere. Okay. Because it kind of makes you look bad, right? It's gossip. Okay. But at the end of the day, if you belong to a small, tight knit group of caregivers, it's a private caregiver Facebook group, if you will. Okay. Or, a community of some sort. And you say, "Hey, you know what? If any of you run across this person, okay, or considering hiring this person, um, do yourself a favor and give me a call first." That's it. I wouldn't say anything else. Me personally. Okay. Now, usually I want to check with somebody to make sure that that's the case. But it's like when you see all the time on Facebook, people driving down the road, and somebody, they find a teenager cutting in and out of traffic all over the place, and they think it's a good idea to take a picture of that person's car and post it on Facebook, and they don't hide the license plate. They just really post it on there. It's like, guess what? I, as their parent, are going to come after your butt because you just now put my child's in danger. Okay. So, but that's what I would do. Anytime you're going to I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to help and protect your, other people from having the bad experience that you had. Okay. You can always, if that person is a business or has, you can always, do a review. Okay. But it makes it very difficult if they're an employee, because that's a very fine line there.
Thank you.
That makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense because I've been trying to, um, for the sake of not just letting a person float from agency to agency with bad habits, try to prevent them, other companies from going through that. And I appreciate that information because I never looked at the first 2 points that you made that are very, very strong. The other ones, that the final one, I think I really will implement when I speak to them is if you meet this person, give me a call. I would like to share
Yeah. Yeah.
inside information.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Rudy had a quick question, and then we got to get running.
Oh, so I have a background in HR, and the people that I had trouble hiring was banquet servers, and so a lot of unreliability there, a lot of bad behavior. And I felt exactly the same way you did about that. And it is very, very difficult to share information, even among people that do the same kind of work as you. And I would not recommend you put anything in writing anywhere. And I even now, phone calls can be recorded. And I'll tell you, we were sued because of something I said about an employee, told the truth that they were not good, they didn't perform well. And so they have some recourse where you are preventing them from gainful employment is how that works. They can sue you. So I would say, listen, tell your friend, give me a call. I'll meet you out in the middle of a cornfield and I'll tell you. But don't put it in writing and don't talk on the phone about it.
Thank you so much, Rita. 2 valuable points made, and I will embrace them. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Great call this week. Next week, show up with invite some guests. Go back and listen to go to incredibletalentscom and right there he's got it listed as a podcast. If you go to johnpyron.com, it's listed on there's the podcast. It's also on the YouTube channel. Go back and grab the recording, pull the scripts and everything off of here. Take practice on them. Execute them, show it back here if you get stuck, and we'll answer the questions next week. Till then, make it a great day, everybody.